So Donna, take us back a little bit because again, the financial piece of it, you have some advice to give to anybody going through divorce who is going through that same fear of, am I going to be okay? I don't have any money to pay a lawyer. I don't even know how I'm going to pay my rent on my own. Everything has been shared expenses, or maybe I haven't worked, and gave up my career to stay at home for the kids. What is that I can and I will first step to give them some level of solace or security in terms of how to reduce that sense of overwhelm and fear?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it is like, I am a person who likes control. Ask any of my 6 kids now. I am remarried, listeners. So we have 6 kids from 16 to 25. And yes, I do like my control. And so you have to think in that moment, I was like, everything was out of control. Right. And so I grabbed onto what I could manage, and what I could know was reliable. And for me, that's math. I grew up as a statistician. That's what I was educated as. And so I'm like, okay, let me just figure out. I was lucky enough that in our relationship with my late husband, Greg, I was the one who did the daily money, right? Like, so I knew where the accounts were. I knew the passwords. I knew all of that. There's some people in relationships and divorce that they're not that financial savvy person. And that's where we say lean into professionals who can help you, whether it's a daily money manager, a financial planner, an accountant. But I always say, like, I leaned into what I could control, which was gathering the accounts, which was figuring out what is in my name and what is not, pulling an annual credit report so I can see what accounts might still be open. What might I have in credit in my name that I forgot about? That Sears card, or maybe that GM credit card I signed up for a free t-shirt back in Penn State when I was 19. Like, is that still in my name? But like, I pulled my credit report to be like, okay, all right, this is me in a credit snapshot all by myself, because you usually have a joint account, but you have individual credit scores. So something my late husband had done might have impacted my credit score. That's the FICA. But the actual credit report is what I start with, even my clients, and what I did that few weeks later. Like, isn't that weird? You're a widow and you're full of all of this grief, and like, why did he take his life? And I'm like, I think I'll pull my credit report, right? Because I had to. In my mind, that's all I could do to start this control part of it. And if I was going to be a grieving widow that had to understand Social Security and pension and life insurance and health benefits and this whole program, well, I was going to do it well. And when I sat and I interviewed all my financial planners, I was going to make sure that I presented my tote bag full of me, is what I called it, as best as I could. I was going to be their best client because I could control certain things. But that's what I really started doing, is making myself just a roadmap. It was literal back then. PDFs weren't a big thing. It was folders, right? And I put it into one tote bag. This is the pension information I have. This is my social security number. These are my kids' social security numbers. This is the 529 we have for little Connor. Sorry, we didn't fund the other kids. Like, this is the life insurance. And I carried that tote bag around with me everywhere. And I started interviewing the people that I knew could do things for me that I couldn't do. And a lot of it was, I don't have any money to pay you right now. How do you engage? And so I always recommend too that if you are in such an emotional state that you can't have those conversations, well, you lean into your bestie. Have your bestie call those financial planners. Have your bestie call those new accountants. Interview 3 or 4 of them. In my book, The Divorce Money Map, there's actually questions to interview. And then have them sit down with you and tell them who you like best. So you have to just go see one. You don't have to go see 5. But I kept on going until I found the financial planner I liked best, slid my tote bag over, and was like, hi, there's like 100 paper bonds in there. Have fun. Right? Like, these are the things that I did. Same thing with estate attorneys, right? Like, I knew that my late husband and I had traveled abroad, and decisions that we had made when we were traveling abroad, thinking, what if something happened to us and our kids needed guardianship, felt very different when I'm stateside and all by myself. Sometimes people show their true colors in extended family and friends during divorce, during widowhood, and the decisions you made as a couple might not stick anymore. So I was really doing an inventory of my finances and what I needed to do to protect my kids. And that's all I could do at that moment. And that was fine. And I was really, I'm going to be Very honest listeners, I was just sticking my emotional head into the ground of sand. I was an ostrich, letting the world spin around me emotionally, and I was ignoring it. I was keeping busy to get things done because that felt like something I could control. Year two is when I had to deal with all the emotions, but I was very productive in year one of trying to get things organized. So that's really where I started is one, getting organized, and two, leaning into the people that did things well that I could or didn't do at that